Good morning, everyone. Jack Bosch here, and I'm super excited to guide you here one more day through our master class. It is Sunday. What is the date today? Oh, it's March 21st. So we are in spring, everyone. I don't know, since yesterday or today. Either way, definitely today. It's springtime. How are you guys doing? I'm super excited to be here. It's a fantastic Sunday morning here in Pacific time. It's already noon, I know, on the East Coast, but it's hey, Kayla, how are you doing? And you guys are chiming in right now. Let me also pull you guys up on the Facebook group right here. Let me see where you guys are. There you go. There you guys are. Let me just make sure, because sometimes I see your comments with name over here and I don't see the names over in StreamYard that we come through. So make sure above the video, before you click on the video, there's a link that says, please give StreamYard permission to show your name, and then we can see it. Hey, Mark Boone, I see your name. Welcome, congratulations to being here. Right, I'm super excited to being here. Michelle is not going to be part of today. She might pop in to say hello, but she's taking a rest day today, a little bit of a break, and I'm going to guide you through this. Now, guys, you're about to embark on a trip of a lifetime here with us, right? If you're already enrolled in coaching, congratulations, right? We're down to, as I said, down to about 8 or 9 spots right now. We are shutting down in 2 days from today, so make sure you book your call on land coaching to them. And for those who are still trying to make up their mind, try to give yourself permission to say yes, because really, ultimately, what you're doing is you're saying yes to yourself, guys. You're saying yes to yourself. You're giving yourself permission to succeed, right? So you're giving yourself permission to say yes, to say, this is my opportunity. This is my year. This is the time that I finally can step up and bring this to fruition and make this all happen. So super excited. Today is an extraordinary day, because today we're going to talk about how to create power listings. Now, power listings is really part of the secret sauce of land flipping, right? I'm here basically in our part of our living room here. This is where we usually sit down when we do other sessions. I've just removed some of the furniture. Also, I have a flip chart here with me that I'm going to use in just a few minutes. And we're going to do this a little bit interactive. So guys, if you are here today, give me a good morning, give me a hello, give me a heck yes, give me a like I'm excited. Who is excited about learning how to do power listings today? Hi, Angelica, good to see you. Who is excited about doing power listings today? I see Ekat is here. I see Alexi is here. And so give me a heck yes, say the word excited or something like that. So power listings, let's get started with just a second. Also, by the way, make sure that you guys binge watch the rest of the sessions that we have done already. And remember, on Monday, we talked about how this all works, generally speaking, how to get these, who are buyers, who are sellers, how to select these counties, right? On Tuesday, we talked about how to get these lists, right? We backtracked how many deals you need to do. We also talked a lot about your why, guys. We talked the reason about why. Don't forget your reason why. Because the thing is, otherwise this just becomes information, right? And information is a dime a dozen out there, right? Information is out there like more than you can ever consume. What you need to do is you need to take the information and turn it into action. And the way you do that is by teaming it up, by connecting it to a big reason why. Again, remember what I said about the weddings, right? When somebody goes down on a knee, proposes, and the other party says yes, and then they set a date, let's say 6 months from now, to get married. And guess what? If they're both, let's say, need to lose 30 pounds, guess who's going to be able to lose the 30 pounds? Both parties, because they have a big enough reason why to look amazing at their wedding, right? So this is the thing. Now, at the same time, that same couple a year before on New Year's Eve says like, hey, let's lose 30 pounds. It means absolutely nothing, because there's not a big enough reason why tied to it. And it's the exact same thing here. If you don't have a big enough reason why you move forward, when you don't have a big enough reason why you need to be successful, why you need to break those generational curses of perhaps of poverty or living broke, of lack, of not having enough. If you don't have a big enough reason why, because somebody in the family perhaps needs help, needs financial help, needs care, needs whatever, things like that help you. Whiteboard just fell down. Okay, that's fine. We'll pick it up later on. But if you don't have a big enough reason why, then it becomes information, and then a little hurdle comes up and you'll fail. Well, that's why we are here. That's why we have our program for you guys, so you can actually step into your power. We can move you through it, but it definitely helps to have that why, right? Have that why. And Angelica says, yes, use your pain for gain. I love that. Use your pain for gain. I'm going to adopt that, Angelica, if that's okay. With that said, today we're talking about power listings. Now, again, we talked about how to get the deals. We talked about how we make offers from 5 to 40 cents on the dollar, right? We talked about buying a $50,000 property for $8,000, turning around, selling it for $25,000 or $30,000 for a $20,000 to $30,000 profit, right? We talked about how our students do that. You heard. There's Michelle coming by.
I'm going to help out.
That's okay. I can put it up. I need to put it up.
Hello.
It's only 9 o'clock in the morning over here, so I got up a little bit earlier today to get us going. Michelle is hanging out around us. So so we talked about all these different things, but we did not yet talk about in detail is how exactly do you sell those properties, right? Talked about you sell them with cash. You talked about selling with seller financing. You talked about that what we're really doing is that we're dream building with them. We talked about where we sell the properties, right? We talked about Facebook, we talked about Facebook Marketplace, we talked about Facebook groups, we talked about Zillow, we talked about Redfin and those kind of places. We talked about Craigslist, we talked about Brokerless MLS, we talked about Land.com, all those different places where you can go sell those properties. But today we are going to right now start talking about, and I'm going to grab my pen already, we're going to talk about how you actually sell those properties. Now, the first thing I want to cover is what are we actually selling, guys? What are we actually selling here? We are actually, if you think about it, let me give you a quick surprise. We're actually not selling land. Now, what's going on? Jack, didn't you just say for the entire, Jack and Michelle, didn't you just say for the entire week, we're flipping land? Well, of course, technically you are selling the piece of land, right? Technically that's what you're doing. But really what we are selling, people don't want to buy a piece of dirt. What people want to buy is a dream, right? Is a dream. Now, what is the dream they want to buy, right? Now, number one, they want to buy if you remember the kind of properties that we're focusing on. As a matter of fact, let me actually bring that up in just a second as a separate document. Remember the kind of properties we're focusing on, guys. And like, remember, let's say this is a city here, right? City's not square. City has like different kind of things, right? The first kind of properties is the infill lots. Like the properties right in the city, right? This is supposed to be all a bunch of ones here, right? The city, the properties in the city. Well, who buys those? The builders buy those, right? The builders buy those. Why? Because it's a financial profitable proposition. They don't care if that lot is small, big, has trees or desert, or is lightly on a hill, or if it has these flowers or that flowers, or if a cactus or no cacti, right? They only calculate financials, right? So the builder, financial. So what we're selling here is the dream. To the builder, we're selling the dream of dollars, right? Of dollar figures to the builder. Now, the second kind of property is the properties on the outskirts of town in the path of growth, right? Now, those properties we sell to the COVID buyer right now, right? Because the COVID buyers want to move out. They want space, right? They want to have space to roam around. They don't want to be in a condo where they walk down the hall, the neighbor comes out, coughs, and they contract COVID. They want to have where the kids can't play in the playground, where the kids can't leave the house and they go crazy. Yeah, I know we're at the tail end, hopefully, of COVID, but at the same time, we have been in COVID for 1 full year, which means we have created new habits. It takes 28 days in the human life to create a new habit, right? In 28 days, if you 28 days don't, if you get into a rhythm of working out for 28 days straight, you have created the new habit. If you create a habit of eating healthy for 28 days, you've created the new habits. We have been in a year in COVID. So there's definitely new habits that have been created right now. And one of the habits is that people want to have space, right? One of the habits is working from home. Like virtual work will not go away after COVID is over. So as a result, all these people now, they want to move out here. They want to move out there in the suburb of the suburbs or even beyond the suburbs of the suburbs on a 2 or 5 acre parcel a few miles outside of town and then commute into town once a week to their office, right? Because working from home will become a standard, and that work from home thing was already accelerating, and then COVID accelerated by about 15 years, right? So now the same thing is retirees. The market, real estate house prices are on fire, and they're going up by 20-30% per year right now around the country. So the retirees can't afford to retire in the city anymore. So what are they doing? They're moving outside, right? They're moving over here. They're moving to the different areas. So and the third kind of properties are the recreational properties, like a few hours away from the city, and those are attractive also thanks to COVID. Have always been attractive, but even more now to all the people that are like created the new habit of not traveling overseas, of not traveling and staying in hotels, but instead they got themselves an RV and got themselves an ATV, because during COVID they couldn't be in the house. They could be in the house, or they could be out in the desert, out in the green, out in the snow, out in the thing where they're alone, social distances. So many people bought RVs, and now they have an RV standing around, and they want a piece of land to put it out there, right? So like that living off the grid and things like that. There's groups with hundreds of thousands of people on Facebook that are wanting to buy exactly those kind of properties because they want to be away from everything, but also again the ATV, RV, hiker kind of thing. So with that said, now what is the dream that we're selling? Right? What is the dream that we're selling? Like the dream that we're selling is, number one, to the builder, right? To the builder, it's money, right? They're the most transactional of this entire thing. They want just the money, right? The retiree, it's the dream of an affordable retirement, right? Affordable retirement. Let's put this over here. Affordable retirement, right? To the ATV, to the COVID buyer, it's more space, right? More space. That's what we are selling here, right? We're selling more space. We're selling a place away where they can have a few horses or goats or pigs or five dogs, or for that matter, just space for toys and space for the kids to run around in the backyard, not just having a backyard the size of a postage or no backyard and being afraid of the COVID kind of things, right? For the people that like to be in the outskirts of town, what we're selling? We're selling the dream. We're selling for goat yoga, says Michelle. Okay, there we go. That is certainly an option too for goat yoga. Yes. So there's what else? For the people that want the big space, we're selling them a mini ranch. We're selling them a life away from it all. We're selling them weekend fun, right? Let's put it down there as weekend fun. And fun. And excuse me if I've spelled anything wrong. After all, I'm from Germany. I have always the excuse that I didn't grow up speaking English. So again, so those are some of the things that we're selling, right? We're selling a dream, we're selling a dream, guys, not just a piece of dirt. Is that good stuff, guys? Is that good stuff? Give me a heck yes here. Give me a heck yes. Give me a yeah. Give me a yay. Give me yeah. Tell me what this thing. So yes. So we wanna. I have my coffee in the morning. So give me some feedback here to let me know if this is good stuff. Now, at the same time, this is so these are the areas we want to sell properties. So at the same time, guys, this is what we, let me see where I put this. Let me put it on the bottom in case we need it again. So at the same time, guys, now, okay, wonderful. Joel, Renier, Michelle, Thurston, Cindy, multiple Facebook users who I know say yes, so that's good stuff. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. So now, at the same time, the actual listing needs to therefore speak to what we just covered, right? The actual listing needs to speak to the items that we have just talked about. Needs to speak to the dream, right? The listing needs to speak to the dream, right? So as a result, when we have an infill property, we need to talk dollar figures to the builder, right? If we have a property that's on the outskirts of town, we need to talk retiree. We need to talk to the retiree or to the people that want more space. And what do they want? What do they want on a property? If the property is 20 miles outside of town, what do people want that want to live there? They want space. But do they want, what else? Do they want, they want to be outside of the city, but do they want to be isolated from civilization? No, they don't want to be isolated from civilization, right? They want to be close, still close as possible to civilization, but as far as is necessary outside in order to still enjoy the amenities of civilization and civilized life. So when you create your listing, you need to talk to them about where is the closest Walmart, where's the closest restaurant, where's the closest gas station, where's the closest airport, how far are you from, how close are you to the next high school, how close are you to the next city, right? So yes, they want privacy, but at the same time, what they also want, they don't want to be completely isolated from civilization. They still want to be close to civilization. Now, on the thing different though, on the one that wants the 10, 20, 40 acre properties on the outskirts of town, like these guys, right? Let me bring this back up here. These guys here, like these guys that want the property way outside of town, what they want is they want the weekend fun. So we got to talk to them about what's around the property. I mean, also these guys, we want to talk about what's close by. How far am I from the city? Is there a Walmart close by? Is there something close by? The same thing here. Like, yes, they want 40 acres to be completely alone and to do shooting and bow hunting and dirt biking, and perhaps there's a lake close by, and perhaps there's skiing close by. You want to talk about this because these guys here, they are the active outdoor sports kind of people that want to have a ton of fun on their properties. So talk to them not about there's 17 trees on this property and the weeds are yay high and things like that, or the property is 20 acres and it is buildable. Of course, a 20-acre property is going to be buildable because there's going to be a spot on the property that's buildable, right? So instead, they don't care about the property much. Some pictures, they kind of want to make sure the property is nice, but what they care about is there a lake close by that I can go kayaking on? Is this area open space that I can dirt bike around, right? Is there perhaps a little town close by that I can fill up the car, that I can go and perhaps grab some groceries, or if I don't want to cook one night, that just go into the local kind of steakhouse or local diner and eat something like that. Those are the things they want to know. And the same thing for the people around here, right? So you want to speak to that in your listing. I hope that makes sense, guys. And then Mark says, you're selling the dream includes knowing where to nearest Walmart, schools, gas station, restaurants. Yes, exactly right. So you guys, great quick summary of that. So that's what we do when we create the listings. Now get rid of that, okay? And when you create those listings, that's what you talk about. Now, at the same time, guys, what happens is, now let's talk about actually generating your listing. Now, when we generated the listing, we're following the concept that I think we talked about on Wednesday already, and the concept was the AIDA concept. So if you haven't watched Wednesday's session, then go back and check session number 3 right? Session number 3 from Wednesday. Check it out. Watch it one more time, and make sure you consume that. Now, and this is what we're doing here is the AIDA method. Now, AIDA, I know I'm from Germany originally. I'm a European guy. AIDA is not just an opera by Giuseppe Verdi. People always laugh at me because I like opera, but you know what? I grew up. My dad is a music teacher, so he took me to the opera since I was 8 years old. But it's also a well-known acronym for in the internet, or in the overall marketing world. It's an acronym for how to write a proper sales listing, how to write a proper sales letter, how to write something that is appealing for people to buy, right? So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, by the way, Renier. She says excellent presentation. Thank you. That is, so A stands for attention. Attention. Is that spelled right? Attention?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it double T? I don't know.
Yes.
Attention. Okay. So Michelle says it's spelled right, so I believe her. We're both not from here, so how the heck do we know how to spell stuff? But anyway, so attention. So the first thing you want to do when you create a listing is you want to grab people's attention. So let's go right back to what we just talked about. The person that, if you have an infill lot, you create a listing with an attention that you say that calls the builder's attention. As a matter of fact, for most of these lots, you don't even need a listing. You pick up the phone and call 5 builders, and one buys your property. But the properties outside of here, those properties here, you create. You need to appeal either to the COVID buyer or to the retiree, and you need to grab their attention with something. And we'll talk about that in a second, right? The next is you need to now grab and raise their interest. Right? So attention, interest is the second version. The third one is now we need to get their desire. Okay, this is uppercase, lowercase, all mixed up. You guys get it. Again, a desire. So let me make this proper. Okay, so now it looks messier, but it's proper. Right. So again, desire. Right. Happy Sunday to you too. Right. So desire. So now, attention. The first thing is like, oh, what is that? I want to see this. Oh, this is really cool. Oh my God, I can get this for that. And then the last thing is action. Action. Make it easy for them to take action. This is how pretty much every sales copy, every infomercial, every like, if you on Facebook come across some of these videos where they're trying to sell you whatever it is, like organic dog food or something, that's the videos that pop up on my screen, because I'm always worried about our little doggy, that we want her to live like 18, 20 years. So we're giving her kind of the best. We're trying to always find the best food. So, and then because of that, I get all these infomercials from Dr. Something selling me whatever organic dog food. Well, if you analyze that sales video, it follows the exact steps. So what you want to do is you want to do that exact thing on the selling side too. And for example, that's where our coaches are coming. And that's where, for example, one of our stories here is that, for example, one time, I forgot her first name right now. But I forgot her name right now. But it's just drawing a blank. 2 minutes ago, I still knew it. Either way, she and her husband, they already flipped mobile homes. And they came to us, they enrolled in our coaching program. They got 6 deals under contract within a matter of like 3-4 weeks. They went out there and they put them on the market. And after about 6 weeks, these properties had not yet sold. So they contacted their coach, obviously, their coach, and it says like, hey, what's going on? These properties are not selling. So what we did with our coaches, we did, and back then we weren't teaching this method yet. Our coaching program has gotten so incredibly even better than back then. But we taught her that in like one 45-minute session. We taught her the nitty-gritty details of this method and what exactly to do and how to change your listing. We reviewed the listings, and that's what our coaches do anyway. They review your listings. They give you those tweaks. It's like, change this to this, change that to that, change this to this. And then within 2 weeks, they had all 4 properties under contract and made $25,000. Those were some smaller deals. And then they got a 5th one also within another 30 days. They had, or 14 days, they got another one. So they made $30,000 in the next 45 days just after learning this method in detail. Right, after this method in detail. How cool is that? How would you like to know to make an extra $30,000 in the? Who would like to make an extra $30,000 in the next 45 days just by learning this method in detail? Right. So that's what we're talking about. So what we are, or the same thing happened to one of my coaching students. So I do have a few private coaching students that I coach personally. Now they paid a lot of money for this. So well more than twice what everyone else, what our regular coaches program is. So one of them had the exact same situation, right? So they had gotten like 12 deals under contract, put them out there, followed our steps, but hadn't sent them back to me for review. So they sent them to me for review, and I looked at that, and the exact same thing is like, you know what? Your headline needs to have a few changes, right? This needs to change a little bit. Your pictures need to change a little bit. Your call to action was all messed up on this end a little bit. So we had to change. We changed the call to action. We tweaked the different things, not by 50%, just by about 5% here, 10% there, 8% there, and things like that. And guess what? Literally the day after he made those changes, the floodgates opened, and he has now 8 of the 12 deals under contract for sale. They're closing in the next couple of weeks, making him about $50,000. And then he's on track to making $120,000 a month. And I'm talking about literally right now. This happened 6 weeks ago, and he has all these deals are closing right now. When we're talking about March 21st, 2021. So this conversation with the tweaking happened 6 weeks ago at the beginning of February, and the floodgates have opened since then. That's how fast this can happen if you have the proper guidance, right? So at this point, pardon?
It's knowing where to hit the hammer.
It's knowing where to hit the hammer. You know that story, right? You know the story where somebody comes in, and this big factory has like all these kind of machinery and all these kind of pipes and things going all around, and all of a sudden the entire machinery goes to a standstill and nothing works anymore. They're like, what's going on? What's happening? So they're like figuring out, they're bringing in, they're looking everything, all the engineers look all over the place, and they're like, they can't make it happen. And they're basically losing tens of thousands of dollars an hour with this big factory not working, right? So they're like, oh my God, what do we do? So they goes like, well, there's this one expert here that we can call in. So they bring in that one expert, that best in class, that best in the world, that best thing that is known to be that best person about this. And that is known to be that person for that, and then bring that person in, and then that person comes in and goes and says like, okay, looks at it, takes his bag out, and just like looks for 20 minutes or looks around, walks around everywhere. Then he goes to one pipe and he takes his hammer and does dong, 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 dong. And all of a sudden, the machinery starts up again. Everything starts running again. Everything is amazing. Everything goes. Everything works. And the people are like, oh my God, that's so great. That's so great. Please send us your invoice. Okay, so he goes back home, and then a week later he sends in an invoice, and the invoice is for, I don't know, $30,000. Let's just pick a number. Invoice is $30,000, and they're like, $30,000? You just hit the hammer 3 times against the thing. Like, what? Can you please? And they're like, okay, this is we can't just not pay this. We have to do something about that. So like, they got it. They're asking back, can you please go and invoice and itemize the invoice? Because we would like to know what of your work was worth $30,000. And the guy's like, sure, no problem. So another few days later, it sends in this itemized invoice, and it says like, invoice so-and-so, hitting the hammer 4 times, $10. Knowing where to hit the hammer, $29,990. The guys looked at it. There's like, you know what? You're 100% right. They wrote the check. They paid him. No questions asked. Because it's knowing where to hit the hammer that makes the difference, guys. That's what makes the difference in life, right? We talked about efficiency versus effectiveness, right? You can open the door with a bulldozer. You can open the door with a cannon. You can open the door with whatever those things, those military things, or you can open the door with the right key. right? In this kind of effort, and the door opens up. So if you don't have the key, you got to revert to brute force. If you have the key, or if you have somebody that has the key next to you, then that person just goes. If he's like, I can't get in, I can't get in, I can't get that property sold, I can't get that property solved, I can't get those deals under contract, I can't. And all of a sudden, he's like, you know what? Let me see. I got the key. And within 1 hour session, they explain those things to you. You open the door, and you walk through the door, and you walk to the abundance of a bunch of deals. You guys get that? Make sense? So you got the somebody says, I got to get myself some keys, right? That is exactly right. So this is, we are the key, guys. We are the key. So what I want to do before I continue out and laying out the actual listing for you guys, what I'm going to lay out for a moment is I want to lay out one more time the actual components of our coaching program to show you just how much we have the key, right? We have the key. So our coaching program is on purpose laid out to be a 12-month coaching program, right? 12-month coaching program. So what you have, it includes one-on-one coaching with our full-time experienced full-time master coaches. Oops, this thing is moving around. With our master coaches that are doing anywhere between 30 and 300 deals. So you get one-on-one Zoom call time where they can literally, if he's like, I can't do it, I can't get through it, I'm running against this hurdle. It's like, don't worry. Screen share. Here's exactly how you do it. Plus, these sessions are recorded so that you can afterwards, you can rewind them, you can rewatch them, you can make sure that you can go through all of the details, right? Now, on top of it, you get daily group coaching. We have 7 sessions a week from Monday to Friday where master coaches teach you all of these things in addition in a group setting. Right, so you go on one day a week. It's all about buying. It's all about getting more deals under contract, working on your follow-up systems, working on all the things and the systems and the processes to get you more deals in the door faster. Right. Now, on another day of the week, it's all about selling. It's all about negotiation. It's role play. It's setting up selling systems, setting up follow-up systems on the sales side. It's talking to buyers. It's creating these listings. It's critiquing your listings. Our coaches do listing critiques. Like, you bring up your listings and they look through it right there and adjust them. Or if somebody else brings them in, you get the benefit of having their listing critique and seeing what they're doing wrong and how to do it right. And it's not about them doing anything wrong. It's about showing everyone how you do it the right way. Because our master coaches, they're selling properties for hotcakes, right? Gary, one of our master coaches, I always say he buys them for breakfast and sells them for lunch. Because in many, many cases, he turns a property around from the moment he has it under contract till the moment he has it sold under contract for sale in a matter of 24 to 36 hours. It happens quite a bit. Now, you would like to know how to sell a property in 36 hours? Well, we got the answer. We got a master coaches in our group that get those properties done that way. And as a result, students like Josiah, like one of our students, in the first 60 days, he did $38,000 of being in the coaching program, get deals where the first day that they're putting on a property, they have hundreds of people inquiring about it, multiple people requesting contracts on the property, and obviously you can only get one-to-one, but even there's ways that we can teach you that you can send out purchase contracts to multiple buyers, and then whoever sends it back first is the one that you countersign. So you send them out unsigned, and you tell them, there's 3 contracts going out to 3 different people. Whoever gets it back to me first gets the deal. Now you have pressure on the buyers to not flake out, but to actually follow through, because they know if they don't, they lose the deal to somebody else, right? So that's some of the things that you learned. Now, where did you come up with that? Well, you came up with that because in our coaching program, it's being taught, right? We teach you those things amongst hundreds of other things, right? Additional things. So again, that's included. And then one time a week, it's all about scaling, because we told you this is all about mastery. The first 90 days, ideally, you go and get your first deal, right? The second, and get it also flipped, right? Then afterwards, we want to scale up to get you to as many deals as possible. And then as we do that, we start helping you implement the systems in place that as you do more and more and more, you actually have more and more time. right? Is that does that make sense, guys? That's how it's laid out. Now, in order to get you there, we not only have one-on-one group coaching, one-on-one coaching sessions with your master coaches. No, we not only have group coaching with your with the master coaches. We also put you together and assign you your own accountability coach, your own accountability partner, who then goes and literally checks in with you on a regular basis, is your direct contact that you can if you want to send a message to them, you can send a message to them. If you have a question, if you run into a roadblock, you can send them messages, and then they can get back with you. If it's something simple, then they can actually answer it quickly. If it's something much more complicated, they'll either get the answer for you, or they'll put you together with somebody in our team that has the answer, one of our master coaches or one of our other team members who has the answer, and make sure that you break through every single hurdle. It's exactly laid out. There's no other program in the country, in the world, right? There's no program in the world, in the United States or anywhere in the world, I believe, that delivers at the level that our program delivers. So you're worried about getting an ROI here. Well, let me tell you, right? For those of you who are worried about the price of the program, just make sure that I want to make sure that you know that if you put the pedal to the metal and you put some effort in here and some urgency on this here, then you can literally have an ROI, a full ROI, in a matter of 90 days here from the program. Like for example, like Josiah had, right? Like just right now, in the last, you saw the interviews with Max Fulmer and Caitlin Fulmer. You saw the interview with Donna and Richard Philly, right? They're all within a matter of 90 days had a full and more than a full ROI on their investment. Now, not only that, but I got like names after names after names after names of people here too, and I had to actually write them down because there's so many of them. Like Donna and Richard, Baris Hunkliogli, he got his first deal for $19,000. With a seller financing need. Our German students, Simon, Sarah, and Christian, got a $12,000 deal last week, and that's already, and now many more deals are hopefully are popping up afterwards. Quentin got his first deal in a short period of time. Harshib, right, $17,000 in 8 weeks. And that's only the beginning, guys, right? Usually a couple of deals like that, and you have a full ROI on your investment, right? Gaither, $6,000 in his first weeks. Josiah, 3 deals at $38,000 in less than 45 days in the program. I even overestimated, not 60, 45 days in the program. So then Anila and Tara Jackson, right, in the first 5 months, they made $250,000. Now they're on track for $1 million in the first year. Right. Megan Autry tried this on their own. Now, can you be successful on your own? Sure. It's just going to take you way, 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 way longer. So Anila and Tara, Megan, like they couldn't get anything, particularly on the sales side. They got deals under contract, but they struggled selling them. So once they got in, guess what? In the next 100 days, they made $140,000, and they're now way above that, right? Rebecca Seidler and her husband, that's Stephanie's parents. They one of our concierges. They made 15 deals in the first 4 months being in coaching. Again, after struggling a little bit on their own. Now they had a few deals, but like a deal here, a deal there, and then what they needed is scalability. So that within weeks of getting into the program, they were like selling, right? So Evan Keegan, 17 deals. Kevin Egan in 17 deals in the last like 60 days, within 60 days. Natalie Sielmeski, $5,300. Angela Carter, 100 deal. Seth Gersten, 20K within the first 90 days. Sarah Larkins, 30 deals with a deal within 30 days and for more than 30K. Ellie Correa, 5 deals in the first 5 months. And in months 6 and 7, she's on track to do like 4 or 5 deals. She had months with $65,000 profit per month, right? Chad and Elizabeth Hayes, 90 days, 3 deals for $80,000. Tom Dickey has deals. Paul Humbles is on deal 3 or 4. Jerry Rodriguez is about to close 3 or 4 deals. Graham Howell closed his first deal, has 8 more under contract. Camille has got 37 deals under contract, with 8 already moving forward, and that's already a couple of months ago. So Bob and Beth Probst have done dozens of deals by now, and had just recently, a couple of months ago, got 53 deals under contract in a matter of like 30 days. So if you're wondering, does this work? It works, guys. You're wondering, does it work for me? It works for you. It doesn't matter if you're alone or if you're partnered. You heard me, Bezier is doing this alone from Germany, and he has done over 12 deals already, or more than like 15 deals from Germany. Bezier is not even an American. He's not even an English speaker. Actually, originally he's from Turkey, right? So he's like, English is his 3rd language, and he still does deals from Germany there, right? Carolina Lau struggled a little bit, but we literally had to rally. That's what we do if somebody's struggling. We rallied all around her, multiple master coaches. I myself came in, right? Our team rallied around her and made sure that she gets to success. And guess what? Boom, a couple of weeks after that, $19,000 coming in. Timon and Torgi, our German student, another couple of German students, the first sale within 90 days. Daniel Horn, $11K. Zeta Drake, $17,000. Gordon Matthews, $60,000 deal that's closing, that actually already closed, right? Gordon, Demary Garber, 17,000. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. So the thing is, like, if you guys, here's something that I posted, I saw the other day. If life gives you troubles, what it really is, and I had to laugh when I read it, but it's kind of it's the devil that's afraid of your success. The devil's like, shit, they're about to break through. Let me throw some shit against them, right? In order to, excuse my language, so let me throw some stuff against them, so to see if they have what it takes. So if life has been throwing something at you, it's the universe testing you to see, do you have what it takes to break through? So yes, you gotta break through, guys. You gotta step to that next level, right? You gotta get to that next step, and we are here for you to help you through that process. Again, now what else is included in our program? Of course, this wasn't even all of it, right? We have our 2.5-day Land Profit Maximizer. You get a family ticket to that. So if you're doing this as father-son, father-daughter, mother-daughter, mother-son, husband and wife, or alone, like, again, if you look at my thing, some people ask, like, Jack, can I do this alone? Paul Humbles is doing it alone. Ellie Correa is doing it alone. Camille is doing it alone. My brother is doing it alone. Daniel Horn is doing it alone. Gordon Matthews is doing it alone. Demary Garber is doing it alone. They're all doing it alone. Yet some other ones others are doing it as a husband and wife or as a family member team. So, like, it doesn't matter if you're a husband and wife, if you're alone, if you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, if you're in Germany, this just works, right? So you want to break, and you want to break through. It's now is your time, guys. And it's what you're really asking to yourself to do is ask for permission to yourself to say yes. And what I need you to do is go to landcoaching.com and book a call. See if it's the right fit for you, because we're not taking everyone. We already this week had to say no to multiple people because they either were very clear that they were not coachable, right? Because we need you to be coachable. Right? We don't want your money if you are not coachable. We don't want your money if you're going to be like, oh, I already know everything. I can do this my way. No, we want to work with you to bring you to success, because but for that, you need to be coachable. You need to be willing to listen to what we, with our 4,000 deals of experience, have done. What we recommend, what our master coaches that could do a combined probably 1,000 deals a year, what they are telling you. You need to listen to us. You need to pay attention to us, and you need to be willing to put that in place. If you're willing to do that, and if you have the ability to put a few hours here and a few hours there and so on into this program, let's say 8 to 10 hours a week. Now, again, after the kids are in bed, because the beautiful thing is you don't have to jump into a meeting at a kitchen table where somebody's about to lose their house, make him cry even more, and get the deal so that you can drop the price by another $20,000. You don't have to do that. Instead, you set up systems that the phone calls come in, they're taken by a call center while you are taking care of the kids, while you are at work, while you're having dinner with the family, right? It's 100% outsourced and automated, or mostly outsourced and automated, but it's 100% virtual business that you can do from anywhere, right? So on top of it, you get also, so you don't have to do all these kind of crazy things. You can do that even if you have a full-time job. Heck, Michelle and I, that's how we had to do it, because we had work visas that were tied to our companies. We could not quit our job, or we would have had 60 days to leave the country or find another job. So we had to stay with our job. We worked 80 hours with our job, and we still were able to do 63 deals in our first year. You can do 10, 20 deals in your first year with the proper guidance and willingness to follow our advice. So who is ready to be coachable here? Who is in on coaching? Give me an I'm in. If you're in on coaching, if you're interested in coaching, if you're ready to stop the devil in his tracks, if you're ever, and I don't mean that religiously, I mean it's more like in a fun way, like the universe is testing you and you need to step up, right? Now is your time to step up, right? So if you're like, if you're really asking yourself permission to say yes, right? You say, so because why not you? Right? You need to ask yourself why. This is your time. This is your opportunity, right? Ask yourself, why not me? Why not? This is my year, right? This is one, like, if you want to be that, then this is the right opportunity for you, right? So plus, if you put the pedal to the metal, right, then you can be one of our students that get your entire ROI in a matter of 60 or 90 days, right? For those of you who are worried about the money part, like, it's a big investment. I understand. It's a significant investment, right? It's a lot of money, and you have all kinds of stories running around in your head about whether or not you should do that or not, and so on. I want to encourage you that if you do the work, we will take you to the finish line. If you do the work, there's a massive opportunity here for you to make back your entire investments in a very, very short time. If you do the work, now of course, if you don't do the work, then you don't make back your investments, right? Then you don't make anything. But as I always say, the extra mile is actually not very crowded. The extra mile is actually empty. Nobody goes the extra mile. So if you're willing, with our help, with our guidance, to go that extra mile, you get all the rewards. Because you know what? All the rewards in the world is found on the extra mile, right? All the rewards in the world are found on the extra mile. So again, so make sure if you break those generational curses. Make sure you go against your lizard brain and step into that, into your power, because that's what you're doing. You're stepping into your own power. You say that, screw that. I don't want to have that life anymore that I've had for the last, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. We have students that are in their 80s, and they're like, screw that. I still got a lot of left in my tank. I'm doing right now, and you see that in the 70s and 80s, and you see that Aline Cook, how they made $135,000 in their first year doing this business, right? So anyone, there's no excuses. The only excuses are the excuses that you are making up in your head about whether or not you deserve to make it, whether or not you can make this. And we have had everyone from every walk of life be able to make this. So as long as you're coachable, and as long as you can find a few hours here and there in your job, and you obviously, as long as you can do it financially, make sure you go for it. Okay. So with that said, let's move on to one more step. So book your call on landcoaching.com and get in, right? Get in. Like I understand there's a fear in you, and let me tell you, talked about yesterday, the 4 C's. The fear is normal. First, you gotta commit, and the first commitment is to yourself. Right? You gotta tell yourself, you know what? I am worth it. I am good enough. I am smart enough. I am strong enough. I can do that. And then you commit to yourself. And once you do that, you commit to yourself. You commit to step into the program. And when you do that, fear will come up. And that's normal. Like, that's normal. But that's why we are here. We are here to take you through the process, take away that fear, and guide you through the steps, step by step, and remove every hurdle on the way. That's why you have your accountability coach next to you. That's why you have the daily group coaching calls next to you. That's why you have where you get your answers on a daily basis, right? That's why you have access to a special Facebook group, right? That where you can ask questions 24/7, right, in the Facebook group. That's why we have our weekly meetings and with our team. That's why we have a bi-weekly meeting with our coaches where we highlight who needs extra help, who is doing well, and so on. That's why we have a chat group with all our coaches that we can get any questions answered anytime. If any emergency comes up, anyone needs help, we can discuss this in a group when we can get you the help that you need when you need it, right? That's why we do this. That's why I laid out this process like nobody else in the industry has laid out the process. That's why we're here for you for when you need us. That's why we surround you with 360-degree support. Okay, with that said, book a call on landcoaching.com because this is all shutting down in less than 48 hours, about 48 hours, right? On Tuesday night, this is all over. This is all gone. Prices most likely will go up afterwards. Right now, you still get a $2,000 discount, right? If you buy $2,000 off, if you pay in full, you also get the bonuses that we talked about. You get the deep dive in the small group session on county selection, one of the most important pieces of this puzzle, right? The county selection with myself. You get a money talks effectively by talking to buyers and sellers, right? Because in this process, it's about laying out this properly, but then it's also about properly talking to the sellers and the buyers and making sure that you lock them in and that you get them reeled in so that they buy and follow through on the purchase, right? Then also, and as an additional bonus, we had also, where was it here? We have tracking what matters with Mike Smyer, an extra session. You saw that on Thursday already. We talked about that briefly. Well, we're going to go into a full 45 to 60-minute session on exactly what that is, how that works. You'll get a copy of the workbook of the actual sheet, and you can follow along and really master how to track right from the beginning everything that needs to be tracked. And then also money talks, right? We have an extra one. That's also the one that we already talked about. So these are going away, these bonuses. Right? These are going away on Tuesday night, along with the $2,000 off, along with everything else. We're going, then our entire company turns into just customer service mode to make sure we take care of our new students and bring them all the way to success. So make sure there's urgency right now. Plus there's another urgency. The market is on fire right now. The market is absolutely on fire. Now, how long will that market still be on fire? We don't know. But you don't want to be one of the people who then who says like, you know what, I'll just try this on my own. And then you dabble and you fail and you struggle and you fall forward and fall backwards. And a year or 2 years pass and then the market shifts and you have missed the market of your lifetime, right? You missed the market of your lifetime. Right now is the time to get started. Right now, within 2 years from now, the subject of money can be completely removed from your life. You can be completely set for life. Like, for example, many of our master coaches are, like Anita and Tara is, like many other students are that generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in profits from land flipping every single year and are debt-free, have their retirement fund be really high, have upgraded their way they're living, right? Have been able to help their churches, and all in a matter of 2 years. That can be completely done. So really put your thing out. Your opportunity right now is the opportunity of your lifetime, because the market is the market of your lifetime. So go jump in right now. With that said, let's go on and book your call at landcoaching.com. So with that said, so we are going to go into one other concept here, which is how do you do this? Well, attention. Well, let's start here. Attention starts with a headline, right? Attention starts with the headline. Headline. Like your headline needs to be such that it grabs people's attention. So it needs to be such that it starts right away with hey, like if the property is, I don't know, is on has all utilities, well, then you probably want to mention that. If the property has Lakeview, you probably want to mention that, right? So if the property is half off, if you can sell the property half off, because remember, we're putting these properties under contract at 10 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar. If you sell it for 50% of market value, then you are still tripling, quadrupling your money here, right? You take a $50,000 property, you have it on contract for 10, and you're selling it for 30. Like that's $20,000 profit. But is that a bargain out on the market? A $50,000 property for $30,000? $180,000 property for sale for $120,000 that you have on a contract for 80, where you're going to make $40,000. Is that a bargain? Yes, it is a bargain. Again, it's a $180,000 property that you have on a contract for 80, and you're selling it for $120,000. That's the world's biggest bargains. Give me a heck yes. Who wants to do deals like that? Well, those are the deals that are in escrow right now by our student body. Those are the deals that our students are doing right now, right? Those are the deals that, for example, my own brother from Germany has a deal that he has under contract for $75,000. It's worth $180,000, and he's listing it for $139,000 or $129,000. So in other words, he's about to make about a $50,000 on that property, and there's lots of interest, and there's somebody about to buy that property for that. So right, so therefore, those are the kind of deals you want to do. So if you're in for coaching, put in "I'm in," putting the words I'm in, putting the words "I'm in," and book your call on landcoaching.com. But the headline is one of the key things here that you want to have, and that's why we teach in our coaching sessions. That's how we teach headline design. Is one of the subject matters that sometimes comes up. And if not, all these Monday to Friday, these 7 times a week group coaching sessions, they're all, by the way, recorded. They're all recorded, and there's an archive. So you can search to the archive, and you can find the sessions based on the subject matters. And now we actually even index them, like what was talked about at what kind of minute in the thing. So you can bring one up and say like, oh, okay, this one was minute 15 to 25 is where the subject matter that's most interesting to me. You jump in on that right there, and you talk about, and you just get that snippet. So you don't have to watch the entire hour of the archive. You just watch that snippet. So we're indexing them right now, but then, and going forward. And then, but the headline is like, so the property has, if the property has Lakeview, so like Lakeview property, all utilities have 50% below market. Now, if that is what the property has, wouldn't you want to put something like that in that listing, right? Wouldn't that catch somebody's attention? That wants, if it's already, let's say it's on Craigslist, it's already in that area. If it's in Facebook Marketplace, it's already marked for that kind of area. Now people are looking for that area. It's in the area they're already looking. You tell them there's a lakefront property with all utilities for half off. They're like, oh my God, let me look at that. First thing, attention, boom, they're right there. Then you talk to them about what's on the property. And here's the interest. This is where we talked about what we talked about earlier about that dream. Like this is, you don't talk about the property. It has 7 trees on it. It is slightly sloping. It has grass. It has this grass and that grass on it. No, you talk to them about this is a buildable property. It's 2 acres in size. That's enough. What's beautiful about it is that you're in a neighborhood of X. You're 3 miles away from the next town, in the next mobile, in the next Walmart. You're 2 miles away from a steakhouse or from a local diner. You're 1.5 miles from the next gas station. So and there's other neighboring houses in the area. That is much more interesting to the person that wants to buy the property, particularly if they want to buy, particularly if this is like these kind of properties or these kind of properties, right? That is very much a thing here that is much more interesting, right? So you want to, because they don't want the property to be perfect. Now, of course, they want the property to be perfect. What I want to say by that is they don't care. The property just needs to be good enough for what they want to do on the property. What's more important is what's around the property. So you talk about these kind of things, and as a result, they will then you will get the inquiries. But then you also create desire. And how do you create desire? By pricing, right? You say the properties around it are worth $50,000, and you show proof of that. Now ours is only $30,000, and by the way, or it's only $40,000 if you do seller financing. And by the way, if you pay cash, you get another you get another $10,000 discount. And now the last thing, now you created desire because it's actually affordable with seller financing. Hey, you can buy it for $40,000 with only or $45,000 with only let's say with only sorry for that with only 15% down payment, $7,500. Perhaps you have it under contract for $7,500, so you're getting $7,500. Thank you, Michelle. You can get it down. You can get the down payment to be what you pay for the property, right? And then as a result, now you have cost neutral kind of deal, and now you're getting $500 a month. They're like, oh my God, I thought I had to pay $50,000 for that. Bernd is saying Gesundheit. Yes, Dr. Bernd. So like, I thought I'd have to pay $50,000 for the property, but I can buy it for $7,500 down with $500 a month. Oh my God, that is so exciting. And they buy the property for that because banks actually don't offer financing on land. Banks don't, particularly if the land is in the outskirts of town, that there's almost no bank out there that will offer financing. So therefore, if they don't have $50,000, they're out of the market. They can't buy the property. But thanks to you, they can buy the property. Thanks to you, you are the solution for them. Thanks to you, you are enabling them to buy that property. That's what raises desire, guys, right? And then you say like, and then you drop the hammer one more time. You say like, and on top of it, if you pay cash, you get an extra discount of the price. And now if they do have the cash, they're like, oh man, I would be stupid not to pay cash, and they pay you cash. If they don't have the cash, they'll take the seller financing. But then is the action, taking action. You want to make it easy for them to take action by actually giving you, by asking you, by you giving them a phone number to text information to, right? By you potentially down the road in the mastery part of your coaching program, right? We even show you how you can set up this setup in a way that you can actually accept credit cards, right? We accept the credit card. We took a down payment on a property, actually on two properties this week, where they wanted to put this payoffs. They just said like, let me lock it down. They put like a $500 or $1,000 down payment in there, and then we open escrow, and then within the next 30 days or 15 days, they're paying the balance of the properties. But because we make it easy for them, we gave them, they are buying these properties, right? Mike, one of our coaches, he sells properties while he's out on his boat with his kids. Right? He's traveling. He's out on the boat with the kids. He lives on the water in the lake or on the ocean, and he goes out. When he comes back, he gets while he's out with the boat, he gets a notification that somebody bought a piece of land. When he wakes up on Sunday mornings, he wakes up to notifications that he just sold a piece of land. Because automating it even for the buyer side is ultimately what allows you to sell these properties while you sleep. Who wants to sell properties while you sleep? Give me a heck yes here too. All right, so guys, that's really, I think that's what we wanted to cover about how to do this. You even do that with the pictures, right? You put the pictures in a sequence, that it tells a story and so on, and you do all those things together. So now, what I wanted to make sure is that you understand that with just a couple, 3 deals, you get your full investment back in most cases from coaching. Sometimes one deal alone gets your full investment back in coaching, right? I want to tell you one quick story about now that and that is about your financial self. Like one of the things many students need, many people need to work on, including ourselves. We needed to work on that. Is what is your financial self-worth? One of the things that holds people back from getting started and jumping in and is that they don't feel like they're worth it themselves. Right. So let me tell you a story. I grew up, my dad's a high school teacher. My mom's a stay-at-home mom. Like they're married 52 years right there, right now. They're a happily married couple. They live in Germany. They're retired. My dad is retired. Actually, Michelle and I retired them retired my dad from his job through the land business. We made that one of our whys. We made it run. We saw my dad's health was deteriorating. He has still had 3 years to go as a high school teacher. If he would have quit early, he would have lost half of his retirement pension. And by staying on the extra 3 years, he would have gained all his pension. So he felt I had no choice to go through it because he didn't have big savings. He, as a single earner, got both my brother and I through college, right, which is not inexpensive. And as you guys know. And as a result, so he felt like he was trapped and he had no choice. Well, there was a loophole in the law that allowed him to take unpaid vacation for literally unlimited basically, or for a couple of years without losing his benefits. So what we did, but he couldn't, but if it's unpaid vacation, he would have had to pay for his salary for the next 2 years, and he didn't have the savings to do that. So the land flipping allowed us. We just had figured out how to flip land. We were on our way, but what happened is, like, we used my dad's hardship in a moment, my dad's situation of his rapidly declining health, to put the pedal to the metal, because we ask ourselves one question. And that question is, if we do not do this, what is the consequence? And the answer to that was, if we do not do this, and my dad might actually not be around anymore, because he might be dying before he actually retires or shortly after. My dad would not be around for much longer to spend time with his only grandchild, or now with his 2 grandchildren. My brother also has a child with his grandchildren. If we don't do this, we had the solution in the hand. We saw the solution in front of us. We knew the solution works, right? We had already done a couple of deals, and you guys, you see all our students doing deals from all walks of life. We know this is the answer. You know this is the answer. You know this works. So what we ended up, we said we cannot, in our conscious mind, we cannot afford not to put the foot off the pedal. We cannot afford to not do this. We need to do this in order to be able to live with ourselves for the rest of our lives. We need to do this in order to be able to retire my dad. And guess what happened? Within 6 months, we were able to go back to Germany. We had 2.5 years left, and said, you know what, Dad? You're done for life. You do not have to work a day in your life anymore. Here's the money for the next 2.5 years. Ask for that unpaid vacation. You are completely done. And guess what? This has been about 16 years ago or 15 years ago. He's today in better health than he was back then. His health bounced right back up. He's fit. He's good. He's in a great shape. So we believe that us realizing that what happens if we don't do that, and then realizing the consequences of that, and then using that as our why and taking action, that not just bought my dad another 3-4 years, 2.5 years of early retirement. It bought him 15 or 20 years of his life. It brought my daughter and our daughter and another 15 or 20 years with her only grandfather. Right? That's what you need to do. You need to dig deep into, why do you have to do this? Why is this something that you just have to do? The answer is there. You see the success around. We're not hiding behind everything. You can contact all the people we interviewed. You can ask them if this is the truth. You can reach out to our coaches. You can reach out to our team. You can ask the questions, but you cannot. But if you don't do this, please be prepared to face the alternative, which is a life of regret. So make sure you take action right now. But what I want to talk about is about the concept of financial self-worth, of financial thermostat. You know how everyone in life, like you see that sometimes with salespeople, right? In an industry, like there's a salesperson who does $100,000 every single year. Right? Or he does 50 sales every single year, car sales, whatever it is, insurance sales. They just steady move along, and they make $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a year every single year. Right? Now, why is that? It's because their financial self-worth is that of that level. What is your financial self-worth? Right? Is it if you look at your history over the last 10 years, have you always made $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, whatever it is? Or have you broken through that on a steep incline? Now, the only way to break through is by increasing your own financial self-worth. Because as long as you have that financial self-worth, what's going to happen? It almost acts like a thermostat. The moment you start making a ton of money, guess what? Your thermostat says, like, oh, it's getting too hot. Let me cool this down. Then you start self-sabotaging yourself, and you start going down again, so that you go into your comfort zone again, and you start leveling out again. And then but at the same time, if you see there's a few weeks or months where you're not making any money, guess what? Oh my God, it's getting too cold. Let me turn the turbo on. And you find ways to make money. You find ways to get cash. You find ways to turn that financial thing back on, so you get back into that area, right? Into that area. So now what you want to do, and that's actually my story, right? I always had, like, when I grew up, I had like no money, right? My parents weren't poor, obviously. As a teacher, you make a decent salary, but they weren't wealthy either by any stretch of the word, right? They bought their house, they had their car, they paid off their house, they had very little money left over at the end of the month. Meaning I did not have like an allowance of more than $20 a month or something like that. So guess what? The moment I got the money, I spent money, right? But then I got a job as a local liquor store, getting out cases of beer and things like that. And I made like $300 a month. And guess what? What my bank account says? My bank account says zero, because I spent it right away. And then I got a job in college and where I made like $1,500 a month, right? And all of a sudden, guess what my bank account was? My bank account was zero. And then I got a job out of college here in the US, and I was making $40,000 a year. And I was like, great, guess what my bank account was? Zero. Until one day I realized that what I'm doing is I'm having a $0 financial self-worth. I'm having a $0 financial thermostat. And I need to go and pull that up. So I started saying, was like, no, I need to be comfortable with more money in the bank account. I need to raise my standards. And that's what you guys need to do. You need to raise your standards, right? You need to raise your standard. You need to stop being comfortable with a few $100s or a few $1,000s in your bank account, or even with thing. You need to move that up. Right now, we moved it up and moved it up and moved it up. And soon enough, as you become comfortable with $20,000 in your bank account, the moment your bank account drops below that, you're going to start taking action to get it higher. Now we are not comfortable unless you need to raise your standards. Yes, we are not comfortable unless we have probably somewhere we have 6 figures in our bank account. We're not comfortable unless we have that in our account, right? So, and that is even increasing. We're raising this up with other investments and things like that to even raise it up. And you can raise it up, but the first step to do that is to step into your power, to step into what you know you're born to be. You are an eagle, not a chicken, right? If you remember that analogy, right? You need to step up, and you need to stop letting the outside world define you. If your spouse is not supportive, then prove them wrong, right? If your spouse is, if you go to your spouse and your spouse has not been attending these sessions, and you go like, should I do this? The spouse is going to say no, right? But if you go to your spouse and say like, you know what? I found this solution. I checked it out. I talked to people. I've seen all the success. This works. I want to do this. Will you support me? Your spouse is going to say yes. So make sure you move forward in that way. Move forward with pride and raise your standards, guys. It's time to raise your financial standards in your life. Because again, the market is the hottest it has ever been right now. You want to jump into the market right now, not 2 or 3 years from now when the market is perhaps not as hot anymore. Now, I said that 2 years ago, and I thought the market was the hottest back then. And it's like, I don't know how much time we have. We luckily had another 2 years, and we're probably going to have another 2 years. But I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know for much longer than 2 years we have that market. So the time to jump in is right now. By the way, even if the market changed, you can still do this, of course. But when the market shifted, we have done this since 2002. When the market shifted in 2002, we went all the way up to 2007. Then the market crashed. Guess what? We just shifted our approach. We started doing more seller financing deals because people wanted to, instead of plunking all their money into a land deal, they wanted to basically have a little money left over and rather make monthly payments. But what we needed to do was buy lower as the market went down, buy lower, sell lower. So we still weren't doing deals, but we weren't doing the $50,000 margins that our students are seeing right now. We were doing a property that before had a $50,000 margin would now have a $25,000 margin. A $25,000 margin property would now have a $15,000 margin. The $15,000 property now would have an $8,000 margin. So you still make money in the deals, but you make it in different ways. And you don't want to, why give up all this margin? Do it now, guys. Jump in right now. We have the guidance for you. We have everything for you in place. We have created the world's best program by far margin. Our success rates are 10 times higher than everyone else. Literally, if you are willing to be coachable and you're willing to do the steps we asked you, in the sequence we're asking you, if you're willing to plug into our system, if you're willing to communicate with us and let us help you, then you will have success. Right? I personally, my coaching students, I have 100% success rate. I've gotten every single one of my coaching students to success. Right? So therefore, that's what we have replicated in our system. We have replicated in the system that if you do the steps, we will take you to success. So don't be afraid. Don't have fear. Just jump in. So with that said, again, you guys understand the AIDA method. You understand the 3 kinds of property. You understand we're selling the dream. You understand that it's like that you've got to start with a headline, the interest, desire, and then make it easy for them to take action. That your description of the property in both pictures and text don't just describe the property, it describes the area, what's around. You show pictures of those things, right? You anchor in the value, you do all those things, and then your properties will sell. And obviously, in our coaching program, we go into a deep dive on all of that. So with that said, again, go to landcoaching.com, jump in right now, and break those generational curses. Give it a go. We are here for you to help you through this process. All right. With that said, guys, have a happy Sunday. See you guys tomorrow. We have another session on tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing a recap of everything, right? We're going to go again from A to Z to everything we taught you over this course of the week. So this is an important session. Be there, and also binge watch right now all the sessions that you haven't watched so far yet, because they're all coming down. Everything is coming down on Tuesday night. And we're down to like 8 spots or so. So make sure you jump in right now. Literally while we're on here, I got a message that another one of our students, she does not want her name to be named. She's a very private person, but she's on board. And that means we have 8 spots available. So go jump in right now, book your call, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.